I speculate in my book, Genius Foods, that a person with an ADD brain might have been the ultimate hunter-gatherer. The other thing that happened as a result of our shift during the first agricultural revolution is that it's paved the way for our modern diets to be composed primarily of calories and nutrients from 3 plants. Now, as I mentioned, there are 50,000 edible plant species around the world. Today, 60% of the calories that we consume come from just 3 of them. One of them is wheat. Can anybody guess the other 2? Sworn. That's what I heard. So corn is definitely one of them, and rice. Wheat, corn, and rice. These are the plants that make up the bulk of our calories today worldwide. And this is problematic for a number of reasons. For one, these foods are very energy dense. They're primarily starch, the sugar that the plants store in the endosperm that gives them the energy to grow, right? They're also very nutrient poor. And I'm going to get into the collective consequences of that in just a few seconds. Now, one of the things that those 3 plants do very well, especially when they're pulverized and ground into the fine dust and used to make the packaged processed foods, the ultra-processed foods, which now make up 60% of the calories that we consume worldwide, is that they're very effective at driving inflammation in the body. Has anybody heard of the term inflammation? It's sort of become a bit of a buzz term these days, and very few people actually know what it is. Inflammation is a vital aspect of our immune response. So inflammation is meant by our bodies to be a way of spot cleaning cuts, bruises, wounds, broken bones, things like that. It's why when you sprain an ankle, it gets really hot and engorged with blood. That's inflammation in an acute, localized setting when it occurs to your ankle, right? The problem is these foods are now driving inflammation in our bodies on a systemic scale. And what that does is it creates the equivalent of a forest fire in our bodies. And the problem is that smoke of the my forest fire analogy doesn't just stay in one place. The brain, the human, delicate, damage-prone brain, sits directly downwind of that fire. Now, our bodies have an incredible capacity to repair against the collateral damage wrought by inflammation, okay? But the problem is we need to feed ourselves the appropriate ingredients to do so. Unfortunately, 90% of Americans are now deficient in at least one essential nutrient. Because why? Because most of the calories that we're consuming come from nutrient-poor plants like wheat, corn, and rice. So with 90% of us deficient in at least one vitamin or mineral, it's handicapping our bodies in profound ways.